When you're trying to build an audience online, it's always nice when someone likes or retweets your tweet announcing the arrival of your new video. What takes the joy away is when they turn out to be bots. Specifically, sex bots. That's just great.
I just want to call to the attention of my colleague.
But let's not dilly-dally, let's get to the issue at hand, lickety-split. Today we're going to summarize the monumental clusterfuck that is Trump's first year in office, which fittingly ended with the government shutting down after the Senate could not reach consensus on the budget. The president said he was going to run America like his businesses. Apparently, we have reached the part where he would usually just declare bankruptcy and run away. The press secretary for the President of the United States called Senate Democrats obstructionist losers. Here's the thing, Republicans tried to frame the debate thusly. The choice for Democrats came down to almost 9 million children and the funding for their healthcare program CHIP, which funds healthcare coverage for kids and families who aren't poor enough to be covered by Medicaid but still doesn't earn enough money to get insurance. Just a side note here, how can there be a gap like that? Like, if you're not able to get insurance for your kids, shouldn't you qualify for Medicaid? Wasn't that the point of Medicaid in the first place? Some people seem to think that the gap is full of people who choose to spend their money on iPhones rather than health insurance.
Rather than getting that new iPhone that they just love and they want to go spend hundreds of dollars on that, maybe they should invest it in their own healthcare.
The fact that iPhones and health insurance aren't comparable expenses doesn't seem to have registered in this debate. But let's not get sidetracked by sane and humane healthcare policy. Republicans wanted to make it seem like Democrats were choosing a deal on extending DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which protects kids who arrived illegally in the United States because they were brought here by their parents, or the stork for those of you who were taught sex ed in Mississippi. I'm nothing if not inclusive. Republicans wanted to make it seem like Democrats were choosing DACA over a deal extending CHIP. But funding for CHIP ran out months ago, right after the Republicans passed their tax bill, literally giving away ridiculous amounts of money to the Scrooge McDucks of the world.
Ah! It's not a liquid! It's a great many pieces of solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface! Ah!
Then the Republicans said that they couldn't afford CHIP anymore. That's like saying you can't afford food after spending all your money on a gold toilet. That was months ago, and now Republicans are trying to make it seem like Democrats care more about non-citizen kids than citizen kids. The fact that non-citizen kids happen to be mostly Latinos, an ethnic group which mostly grow up and vote for Democrats, has of course nothing to do with it.
Yes, it does so.
But if Republicans want to win over any young voters, maybe they should stop treating kids like political pawns. Just an idea. Mitch McConnell is now trying to seem like he cares about kids. The last time McConnell cared for a child was when he, after Trump's shithole comment, avoided calling the president racist.
I don't know anything, I'm just a turtle.
And yes, in this scenario, Trump is the child. Republicans control both houses of Congress and the white supremacy house. Sorry, I mean just the White House. And they are still trying to put the blame for this shutdown on Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. That's like the driver of a car blaming the engine failure on the person in the back seat who said no when the driver asked if he should crash into a pack of kids like a police car casually going through a shopping mall.
Yes, do you have a Miss Piggy?
There's been quite a few scandals during the first year of the Trump presidency. I'm gonna let CNN anchor Brooke Baldwin remind you of just a few of the ones from a 4-week period between July and August last year.
No particular order. President Trump, in the last 4 weeks, has fires his chief strategist, fires his chief of staff,
Hires a new one. Hires a new communications director.
United States. It's enough. Thank you.
Also, let's not forget that time when Jared Kushner went to make peace in the Middle East looking like two 8-year-olds trying to look like an adult by standing on each other's shoulders. And then he put on his bulletproof vest in a way that covered up his name, so it just said Kush.
Dad, look, it's the good Kush.
This is the dollar store. How good can it be?
I'm sure he has no idea why anyone would have anything to say about that. Trump may have said that African Americans were living in hell during his campaign, but it took many news anchors and political commentators a little while longer to realize that Trump is actually a raging racist.
Let's just use the word the president is using. Shithole, 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 asshole people who live in asshole places.
But by now, 1 year into the Trump Teetotal Totalitarian meltdown, I think we can safely say that the president is not a fan of ethnic minorities, which is odd since he is one himself.
Orange is not the new black.
Another story that came out just in time to make the 1 year anniversary of this carrot cake presidency all the more sweet is the story of porn star Stormy Daniels and the allegedly generic sex she had with the president in July 2006. The month before the 2016 election, a Trump lawyer paid Daniels $130,000 to shut her up, but like her slogan from her proposed run for political office, screwing people honestly, with emphasis on the honestly, the story of the porn star and real estate mogul abandoning his wife and 4-month-old baby saw the light of day, and you guessed it, the story is weird, gross, and cringeworthy, the trifecta of embarrassment. As it turns out, Trump allegedly asked Stormy Daniels to spank him with a copy of Forbes magazine, with Trump and Ivanka on the cover. I could write 1,000 jokes about Trump's incestuous relationship with his daughter, but quite frankly, it's been done to no end already. We all know Trump has creepy feelings for his only daughter, unless of course you count Tiffany, which Trump really doesn't seem to do. He also made Stormy watch Shark Week with him for hours, during which Trump tweeted angrily about sharks. It's not that weird that people fell for the story saying that he watched gorillas fighting for 18 hours a day. The year can be summed up thusly. A Huffington Post notification on my phone said, Trump threw a wrench into his party's shutdown strategy and seemingly contradicted his own chief of staff ahead of Friday's budget deadline. For a hot sec, before I had read the entire notification, I thought Trump had actually thrown a wrench at someone. And the question I immediately asked myself was not, why did he throw a wrench, but how did he get a hold of a wrench? I thought his staff were under strict instructions to keep him away from any dangerous objects which could be used to discipline people. Probably because at some point he's going to ask someone to spank him with it. Have a good 2018, people. Live every day like it's your last, because as long as Trump is in charge, it actually could be.
If you will tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello.